Hello everyone and welcome to this Meet the Speaker video. I'm here today with Mark Rackley. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Vlad?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can you please give a quick introduction about yourself?
Well, so my name is Mark Rackley. Started out in the SharePoint world back in 2007, doing a lot of development, client-side development stuff. I was doing the client-side dev stuff before it was considered cool. I came to be known as the SharePoint hillbilly for a short while, but since then I've kind of like backed away from that, thinking, you know what, I'd rather be known by my name than the hillbilly. So yeah.
But didn't you just release a hillbilly bot?
Yeah,
like
well,
a week ago?
So I did, but it's because I got to go back to my roots every now and then. But at least you go to markrackley.net to get there, right? So it's an homage to my
so
past.
Your blog was actually SharePoint Hillbilly.
Oh yeah, my blog. In fact, if you go to SharePointHillbilly.com, it should redirect you to markrackley.net. So.
And I think you also created a bunch of form tools. Like, was it a Hillbilly tabs, or how did you call them?
Yeah, there's just a ton of solutions on my website. One is for putting web parts into tabs, and I just called it Hillbilly Tabs because it was
the brand.
It was kind of the brand, and it made it approachable, right? So yeah.
Okay, and before SharePoint, because you got in SharePoint 2007, you're probably in IT before that.
Right.
What were you doing before SharePoint?
So going all the way back to college, I was into the computers, and I had a degree in computer systems engineering. I've been doing things from BIOS coding for semiconductors. I've done drivers for Windows. I've done web applications using Java. I guess the project before I started getting to SharePoint, I did a huge web application using JavaScript and struts.
Okay.
And then I got back into the .NET world, and they said, whoa, go do SharePoint. And I'm like, well, what in the world is SharePoint?
And then you switched from JavaScript to .NET, and now all the way back to
JavaScript.
Only JavaScript.
Not only JavaScript. I use the tools that get the job done. And you know what? You can do things a lot faster sometimes, and have a better experience if you use client-side development tools.
Yeah. Another quick question. There's a rumor that the best thing at Microsoft, at the MVP Summit, is Microsoft Bacon. And I know you're a big bacon fan.
I am.
How do you feel about that statement?
I will give it a shot. I'm suspicious, of course.
You never had Microsoft Bacon?
I've had bacon on campus at Microsoft. Is that
the one at the Hyatt that they give in the morning?
So they did have some. One morning they had something that was a sweet. It was like a sweet bacon.
Yeah,
that was pretty spectacular. I'll put it in my top 15.
Top 15.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So I'll rank it well, but I wouldn't say it's the best.
Okay. I mean, you're the bacon connoisseur, so I'm learning from the pros.
I like my pork. So.
And talking a bit about event speaking, you've spoken at conferences kind of before I got into SharePoint. Do you remember what your first event was?
My very first event was a SharePoint. It was pre-SharePoint Saturday, so it wasn't called a SharePoint Saturday, but it was essentially the same sort of event in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I remember my first session was called Taming the SharePoint Beast.
Okay.
And I was talking to people about some of my experiences getting into development in SharePoint, some of the things they can help watch out for. And I remember it was a 60-minute session.
Yeah.
I finished it in 30 minutes. And then I was totally out of content. And I remember one guy on the front row, he looked at me and he goes, well, I can tell you're passionate about it.
Well, hey, at least I get that.
yeah, at least I got that. So so that was my first, and that was back in early 2009, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so since then, spoken hundreds of times all over the world, and I enjoy it. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome, and how many SharePoint conferences did you attend? Vegas and all over the place as well.
So SPC19 was my very first Microsoft event and my first major SharePoint conference, and I've attended every Microsoft SPC Ignite since that point.
Okay, so even for Ignite you did, was it Chicago, Atlanta, Orlando, I think.
Yes,
right?
I think that sounds correct, yes.
And now how do you feel about SharePoint Conference being back?
So I may have been one of the more vocal people telling Teeper to bring it back, and so I told him that if he needs to blame anybody for it, he can feel free to go ahead and blame me. And no, like I said, SPC was my first big conference I went to, and it was I spoke at SPC several times, and it's always been the place where the one conference you would go to that all the SharePoint people went to. So if you wanted to see your friends from all over the world, you would go to SPC to see them.
And you're almost guaranteed that everybody's
and you're
there.
almost guaranteed they're going to be there. So you can catch up with friends. You can meet and work with Microsoft people, the product team. It's from a networking standpoint. It's really, you cannot beat connecting with the people that are there.
Awesome. And one last question. Who do you think the party's going to be this year?
Who's going to be doing the party? I'm hoping for Hootie and the Blowfish. No, actually, I have no idea.
You haven't thought about it?
I haven't thought about it. It was the B-52s last year, and they've had Huey Lewis in the News. They've had Bon Jovi. They've had a lot of variety. So I couldn't even begin to guess who they're going to get.
Do you have a wish list? Somebody you'd love to see?
Somebody I would love to see. No, I really
You're
don't.
open to everything?
It's like, well, you're not really going there for the music. That's kind of in the background for the network. For the drinks and the food and the networking, right? So it's somebody not too loud. So no death metal. That's all I ask. No death metal, please.
It's funny because some people are like, oh, I wish Lady Gaga was there. I want Maroon 5.
Well, see, I would like to go see them in concert, but I don't want them for the party.
Okay.
It's like I don't want to be so, I got to see these guys, so let's ignore everybody. I want to be able to enjoy and enjoy the friends that I'm there with. So I hope they don't go too over the top, and just Elton John or something.
Yeah, Elton John would be a cheap choice. I'm sure he's easy to get now. He's retired, right?
What else does he got to do?
Play for SharePoint conferences.
Maybe you can get Bill Clinton to play the saxophone. So
that'd be awesome.
That would be. He's done SPC before, so you never know.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks, Vlad.
And looking forward to see you in every month until SPC now.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I'll see you soon. Thanks, Vlad.
Bye.